All right, coming in hot. Hello everyone. How are you doing today? I'm Derek. I'm a writer here in Los Angeles, and we are writing a Simpson Spec script, and have been for the past couple of weeks, a few hours at a time, letting the chat brainstorm, contribute, and then shaping it into something expected of The Simpsons, right? Something that fits the canon, fits the characters, while allowing our own voices and ideas to shine, combining them, following a typical Act 3 structure, and to catch you up. On this particular stream, we are going to be diving into Act 3. We spent the last two streams, the earliest one, forming our Act 1, last one forming our Act 2, finally our Act 3. Once we have this rough outline, we're going to try and tell ourselves the story first, the rough version of the story, whether it's good or not. Probably not. But you can't edit a blank page, can you? So here we edit and shape things into the best version of themselves. Also, you're going to notice a lot of boxes behind me. I think this is like a Boxageddon. Moving soon. So, forgive the brown towering background, but in about, 18, 17 something days, we're going to be headed further west. I'll set up a new stream in a new place and maybe give it a little overhaul, I was thinking. But until then, thanks so much for hanging out. I'm going to let people kind of trickle in as they get their notifications. And remember, if you're on Twitch and you want to check me out on YouTube and skip all of the ads, please do. Please do. And for everybody on YouTube Vertical Live, hi, how you doing? I'm Derek. I'm a writer here in Los Angeles, California, and I write live. And over on YouTube, on my YouTube Live channel and on Twitch, I have a big digital whiteboard, and we host a digital writer's room where people in the chat can participate. And we are writing a episode of The Simpsons. We are writing a Simpsons spec script. What does spec mean? Well, it means we write it on speculation, that no one has hired us to write it. We're just doing it for the love of the game. And let's see. Jay, Mora, hi. No to I5U, 5WE5. Wrong. But nice guess, I guess. Let's see. What else? If you want to check out the digital whiteboard where you're seeing all of our work, all of the posted notes, all of the pitches, the polls that we have to host to democratically move forward on some sort of plot points, go ahead and click the link, find out, and come and participate. If you've ever watched an episode of television and thought, I have better ideas, I could do that, then come test your mettle with us over on Twitch and YouTube. All right, so right now I'm going to switch over to the big digital whiteboard as promised, so you can see all of the hard work we've been doing. It's a lot. It's hard to fit on one screen. Here we're using Freeform. This is a digital infinite whiteboard that kind of came with the Mac OS that I really enjoy using, especially just for visualizing story. You could put a lot of stuff up, and it's actually good for live streaming too. Big fan of it. So we'll catch everybody up. It's always nice to, whenever you're coming into a story to revisit it, run from the top into where you are, just to kind of, one, catch yourself up, and then also realize your story's momentum, the impact. Are you in a thrilling part of your story? Is it time for you to slow your story down? You'll know all of that by just taking a quick read and summarizing it. We have what we always have at the top here. It's called a log line. A log line is a quick elevator pitch that you can tell somebody in under 30 seconds, under 10 seconds, what your story is about. And we roughed one out, and a lot of people would work on a log line for a lot longer of a time than we did. But essentially, the story that we're writing of the Simpsons episode is Bart invents an anarchistic AI and becomes a multimillionaire, only to find himself fighting against the very data center that powers his wealth and must destroy it before it destroys Springfield. So here we have our flawed character, Bart, essentially becoming a version of like a greedy multimillionaire. The obstacle he's fighting against the data center that powers the very machine that contributes to his wealth. And we have the stakes. Well, what's at stake? Well, his own wealth is at stake, of course, so everything that he wants. But also, what happens if he doesn't overcome his obstacle? Well, Springfield gets destroyed because AI data centers just kind of destroy their environment. We talked about what data centers do, like suck up electricity, pollute the air. There's noise pollution. There's just kind of a visual blight on the neighborhood. Takes away. It has jobs at first, but then it takes them away. So the promise of like data centers providing jobs is a false narrative, or very only true in the short term, not for long-term employment. And here we started with our Act 1, where we talk about our inciting incident. We set ourselves up, what's going on in Springfield, what's going on with Bart, and we introduce our B story. Everything written in red here is Lisa Simpson's B story. This is a very Bart-Lisa-centric episode. Why do we choose Lisa? Well, to catch you up, because she is kind of the antithesis of Bart. And so we wanted to find an interesting, we wanted to put our characters in the most conflict possible. Conflict is drama, and it's a source of a lot of fun. And we know that Lisa is very eco-conscious and would make a natural foil to Bart's plotline. So we have Lisa, who is eco-conscious, very tactile, values art made with human hands, and Bart, who is essentially going to be a direct satire of the multi-billionaires that we have here and now, like a Bezos or an Elon Musk. Well, what do you do with unlimited wealth? Do you throw a UFC fight on the White House lawn? Like, it essentially just man-children. We're going to have Bart be an actual boy and a child and anarchistic and give him more money than God and see what happens. Usually that's something that's reserved for the character of Mr. Burns. So it'll be interesting to see what Bart does with unlimited wealth and a blank check. Okay, let me go ahead and check the chat, catch everybody else up. And make sure this is live. Perfect. Okay, so here, let's recap our story. It's summer. Homer, that's something it's just a location, a little setup, but I wanted to include it because it was an idea thrown out by the chat. It's summer for some reason that has something to do with the plot, which I would say probably affects, let's say, if there's a massive heat wave and nobody can get air conditioning. We can kind of always talk about how hot it is in a Springfield summer. Homer destroys Lisa's saxophone. Homer and Marge must drive Lisa into King Toot's Music Emporium to repair her saxophone. Hi, I am not in England, but boy, man, it would be fun to be in England. Also, I don't think I would I would sound like this. Um, but no, not in England. But hey, isn't it? It's pretty late over there. Actually, are you in England? Where are you, Ray? Also, hi and welcome to the Vertical. Um, let's see. They drive Lisa to King Toot's Music Emporium. Lisa asks for it to be repaired, but the Simpsons can't afford it. Then we have El Barto and Millhouse terrorizing the neighborhood with graffiti, skateboarding, loud music. People complain and eventually drive them inside, where Bart and Millhouse are left alone at home to prank call Moe's Tavern. But Bart has run out of ways to trick Moe. He uses an old one that he's used before, like Amanda Hug and Kiss or something like that. And Moe catches on. Therefore, Millhouse advises Bart to use AI to start generating new ideas. And therefore, when they use it, they upload Bart's intelligence into the AI and use it to prank call Moe successfully. Around that time, Homer, Marge, and Maggie and Lisa arrive home with saxophoneless for Lisa. But Bart reveals that he's created this AI prank call app, and Lisa's sadness distracts Millhouse from thoroughly warning Bart about establishing parameters with his AI program and leaves Bart unsupervised. Therefore, Bart thinks he doesn't need Millhouse and types into the Springfield version of the AI what he wants, and the app is created. But Lisa warns Bart against the dangers of AI. However, Bart interrupts her speech with an AI prank phone call. Bart leaves the AI unattended, and we see it start to scale up overnight without him. And by morning, Bart wakes up to tech investors knocking on his door, offering him money, and they need a data center in Springfield. Here we have a little note like, ooh, we still need an Act 1 button, and Lisa warns Bart, but Bart accepts anyway. And that sentiment still holds true. I still believe that we need that to happen. Then in Act 2, we've decided that Bart is in his luxury treehouse looking at his app sales, and we've moved forward in time. Maybe a news segment about prank calls surging. A newscaster receives a prank call on the air. And Bart consults his AI glasses as to what he should do whenever Lisa asks for money for a new saxophone. Should he buy her a saxophone to shut her up or invest his money? The AI is programmed to side with profitability and recommends Bart partner with wealthy donors to host an event. But Monty Burns is the only other wealthy person in Springfield. Bart arrives at a fancy attire in a wealthy way in order to prove himself to Burns. And here we have little bits of what else is happening. Bits of the montage. So we have like little things that are going to break off, little tendrils. Well, how does Bart spend his newfound money instead of buying Lisa the saxophone? Well, he buys a super yacht and makes Captain Horatio McAllister his captain. Bart gets a yes man, gets yes man by his own app. The AI keeps Homer off of Bart's back by lying to him and telling him what he wants to hear. Nap to save energy and for critical tasks and to keep his caloric intake high for energy. So, of course, Homer loves that because it enables him to become a fat slob. Maybe Bart uses money to build his own skate park. Bart can buy Channel 6 News and make it his own. Make it his own, and it shows Bart's AI ad spot. Then we have the tricklings in of this UFC fight that we talked about earlier, where what do you do with all of this money? And instead of doing good, he just gives in to his hedonistic tendencies. And what is Lisa doing during all this? Well, her brother's not going to buy her the saxophone, and she doesn't want AI blood money anyway. So Lisa offers to tutor students, but Bart's AI writes papers that pander to each subject and teacher, putting her out of business. Lisa offers to tune other kids' instruments, but it only heightens her depression. We have some brainstorming still to do if we want to do stronger, if we want to make stronger choices than that, which I think we should. And then we reach the midpoint where the tide starts to shift a little bit. We reach a point of no return. That data center that Bart needs to push his AI over the edge, the deal that he signed with the devil, with Mr. Burns, is finally turned on. That's the point of no return. It's the big action. Once it starts powering up, Bart's morality is put into question when Monty Burns reveals that his master plan was to invest in the data center and then sell infinite power to himself and consolidate the wealth of Springfield. Then we have Bart discovers that the AI is lying to him to feed his ego and that he really is the bad guy. He realizes... Then we start to see the negative effects of the data center. The noise scares all of the animals out of the park and the forest. The noise pollution is so bad that Disco Stu can't even hear his own records. Lisa's confronting him about how his app is making things worse, and he's not thinking about what's right, and then he's thinking about profitability, kind of revealing the truth to him. We have... a water fountain at a skate park. The water fountain at his skate parks have turned the water brown. The Millhouse can't go out and play with Bart anymore because his asthma is so bad from all of the air pollution. We have Lake Springfield is drying up, landlocking Bart's super yacht that he spent money on. Bart's AI helps other kids become bad kids, and they graffiti and skateboard on his property and annoy him with loud music. Then Bart's we already heard that. Then Krusty goes off the air because the studio and the TV network lose power. It happens at a critical moment in the Krusty the Clown show that he made happen, wanted to see. And then when Bart really needs help, Homer is too overweight to get off the couch. We see Lisa at her lowest point finally turns to the AI for a solution, turning to her enemy for a solution. Hi, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. I'm glad you're here. And then at some point for our Act 3, we realize that our A and B story have to intersect, and that Bart is starting to realize that he needs Lisa's help. We also realize that Lisa's solution could be to use the OG AI, right? Go to the library. How to Ruin a Data Center for Dummies is the book that we maybe run into. We also talked about like folding in third act surprise. Allison, her old rival at school, may have some ideas and be willing to team up with them. Or Bart's AI mocking suggests the correct book to inspire her. So like sarcasm ends up being giving you the right answer. Like, have you tried a For Dummies book, dummy? She's like, oh, no, I haven't, but that's what I should do. Oh, Mookie, thank you, buddy. Love you. Over here on the YouTube Vertical Live. I'm surprised you're not over on Twitch. I mean, I'm glad to see you either way. But how are you doing? So, we're running into Act 3. So we have a few things that we're going to hit here, especially for The Simpsons. The A and B story converge. What else happens? It's like really the crisis points. Oh, like the lowest of the low lands here. So, whoops, is that not okay? Bart is at his lowest. Bart or the Simpsons or Springfield itself is cornered. Should feel cornered. Let's left justify this. These are some beats that we owe here. And especially in animation, especially for the Simpsons. And what else do we have? Oh, Matt Groening talks about this genuine emotional beat. He always said to like inject a little bit of heart into every episode. So the genuine emotional heart, I'll say Matt Groening beat. That lets us know that every Simpsons episode is about family and togetherness, and it's not all just zany antics and itchy and scratchy, beating each other over the head with giant mallets. Homer always finds a way to redeem himself. Marge always finds a way back to her core personality. Lisa finds compromise. Bart comes to understand, what would you call it? Because he's so... I don't know. He always like has a little emotional maturity. Yeah, there's always like a moment of maturity for Bart. Of course, with The Simpsons, though, remember that nothing really happens to the family that is permanent. That's how we get all of these episodes, right? Like if we, heaven forbid, like killed off a main character and it wasn't a Treehouse of Horror episode, it probably wouldn't make the cut in the writer's room. Oh, Mookie, there you are. There you are, back on Twitch, hitting up the chat. And then let's see, what else do we owe for our Act 3? I mean, like resolution, really. So let's just put that, the resolution. How do we get Springfield back to... Springfield back to normal or on its way, or better than ever. And finally, status quo for the family. This is a little bit different than resolution. We are restoring normalcy to everything that we've shaken up during the telling of the plots. This is almost an internal emotional family beat. And then also comedic button. So these are the things that we owe in our Act 3. Me Alpha, hey, what's up? Thank you so much for my little dancing dinosaur. I appreciate you. Suanova, how you doing over there? It's been a while since I've seen you. Well, I guess maybe you were on last time, but you were lurking. Nice to see you. Omar, you are from England. No, I am from America. I am from California. And if I were If I were from England, I think my accent would be a little different, but I do speak English, so we have that in common. Thanks for joining the vertical live stream. Also, Omar, if you're interested and want to see what I'm writing, I have a digital whiteboard up over on Twitch and YouTube Live. You can always tap my icon and follow the link to the YouTube page and check me out live if you want to. Ooh, starting to get a little late here, so I'll be turning a little light on. Help keep the energy up. Oh, directly indirect. You're back and in the same place. Yes, I don't move until the 1st of August. So just have all the non-essentials of my life packed up in a small tower of boxes. How are you? How's your week been? And Mookie, are you you're out of your budget meeting, right? It's 6:40 over here. So you must be done. How did it go? How's everybody? Catch me up on y'all, as my Louisiana roots would have me say. What are y'all up to? How's y'all's week been? Doing well here. Fantastic, fantastic. Good to hear. Excellent. All right. Let's see how our Act 2 ends. This feels like... What if Lisa took... I don't know. This it's still tough. Do we use this to springboard us from Act 2 into Act 3, or is this breaking into Act 3? They have to go analog. I think, you know what? Just me saying that, it feels like yes. I want to say Lisa and Bart team up to make an analog revolution. It'd be very Springfieldy to get the pitchforks and torches out. And we can also, you know, I feel like a good old mob would be something worth getting, Homer feeling worth getting off the couch for. Excuse me. Don't you think? Like I could picture a very, very lazy Homer peeling himself off of the couch, being like, this is what AI told me to save my energy for. Getting tired before he gets to the door, and then we cut to a scene with him leading a charge towards the AI data center in like one of those little electric scooters with mounted with a torch. So it's almost like not only did the A and B story converge, but they united the town against the data center. I like this also as a Act 3. Remember, we have there's a beat called Gathering the Team. It comes later. And it's that moment where I guess everybody's seen Avengers Endgame, where they get all of their spoiler alert. All of the people who were dead in the movie before come back, and they all put on a united front and finally mount their big comeback against the big bad enemy, right? There's some version of that in every movie where the hero picks themselves up by their bootstraps, and they, either with the support of others or with a newfound strength that they had within themselves that they didn't realize that they had all along, find what they need to move forward. I'm going to just put good old-fashioned mob. And you might say, well, why are you putting this over here? And it's because, well, they do have to try some other things first before and fail before they realize that they had the strength all along, right? So what we need to do is I want to fold in Mayor Quimby. I feel like Lisa makes a legal argument that the data center is illegal. And then remember the but's in there for, right? But therefore, but Mr. Burns has Mayor Quimby in his pocket. Right, so I have to try something else. We'll do our buts and therefore. The reason that the buts and therefore don't exist in Act 2 is because they need to be put into an order. We have a lot of stuff happening in Act 2, and we need to organize them into something a little bit more coherent of an order than what they are now. And then we'll start putting these scenes in final draft and say, this is what we owe, and then we'll write a scene at a time, and it's going to be so much fun to do the scene writing with you guys because your imaginations are so fantastic. It's going to be fun to see how you get from the beginning of a scene to the end of a scene. Let's see. Let me see. Mookie says he's doing well. Notice a 3-fold increase in the number of moving boxes. When's the big date? August 1st. Yeah. It's and then there's boxes you don't see. We actually had to stop packing because we don't know where we're going to put the boxes. Especially if the data centers ran out of water and had to be cooled with Duff beer. Oh my God. That's interesting. Is that a data center that runs out of water gets cooled by Duff beer, leaving no alcohol for the drunks, ignites riot? I could see Lisa using that as a way to help gather the team. This is timely. The state of New York is about to pass legislation banning data centers in the state. Yeah, I read that. Way to go, New York. I really need to watch a few more recent episodes of the show to get more familiar with the character voices again. Yeah, it's always fun to watch The Simpsons, and it's always evolving. You know, it's like picking a random season of Saturday Night Live. They all have a little. Every year has a different feel to it. This down. Oh, you're listening on YouTube too? Yeah, excellent. That's the way to do it. Directly and direct. That's why I have it there. I appreciate you. Elon Musk wants to put data centers in space. Yeah, I want to put Elon Musk into space. Okay. So let's keep going back to our checklist. The A and B story converge. We need something here, just like we have in our Act 1. We had this we have this story instinct that we know exists. We need an Act 1 button. Lisa warns Bart, and Bart accepts anyway. So when we come back from commercial break, we've jumped forward in time. Bart has accepted the devil's deal and is now one of the richest 10-year-olds, probably not only in Springfield, but the world. And here, we need maybe Bart apologizes and asks for Lisa's help. Will you be my brain? You know, Bart has been like letting AI run his life, and now he's about to hand it over to his sister. The olive branch will be extended. And now we'll cut to Act 3 after a commercial break, and we'll see that Lisa's choice has been made. Yes. She will help her brother. She will help save Springfield. Okay, so let's see what they're for. So let's brainstorm some other analog ways, some non-AI ways that will lead us to the mob here, right? So what other ways can we try and ruin the data center? Now, the physical harm is really going to come from the mob. So we tried legal. Do we try a direct plea to the billionaire's morality? You know, we have to kind of pitch some ideas to me, writer's room. Some ways that Bart and Lisa try and fail to stop the data center. And remember, it leads to physical harm from the mob. So we can't just start with physical harm. We have to get there. That's the ultimate analog act, right? The physical rebellion. Well, we have strength in numbers. We're going to tear everything down and show you our strength. So we said, I suggested emotional plea to the billionaires. Did I say billionaires? Billionaires. Sensibilities. Chat, what do you got here? Alcohol is flammable. Ooh. Okay, still going back to Act 2. Let's see. Ignites riot, gathering the team, good old-fashioned mob. Ignites alcohol. I will say beer is not really flammable. I mean, Everclear is. So remember, Duff beer, unless, I don't know, maybe. Like, I'll put a question mark. I think a more Simpsons answer might be they send in Barney to drink all of the alcohol that's cooling all the data centers, and then the data centers burn up and ignite themselves. Maybe that's the more Simpsons, right? Send in Barney to drink the alcohol. And really, all of Springfield. Send in Barney, Homer, Carl. Who's Carl and who else? Lenny. To drink the alcohol, cooling the data center. And it would be one of those, therefore. The data center has nothing to cool it and burns up. I could almost see Homer being a pawn in this. The data center has been operational since the midpoint of Act 2. So we're in Act 3, and yes, the data center is happening. The switch has been turned on. It's the point, we're past the point of no return, and now we have put our characters in desperate times that call for desperate measures. That's where we are. That's our Act 3. So the A and B story converge. Got it. We owe Bart at his lowest. If we go back, guys, remember I was asking some ways that Bart and Lisa try and fail to stop the data center. Because after 2 or 3 of these, Bart's going to have that, oh, what have I done? Like, remember the how emotional Bart got whenever he really, really studied for his test and he still failed it. And then while he was crying, he was telling his teacher how he felt about these historical people and history and how they must have felt whenever they did blank in history, and she finally gives him a passing grade. That's where we've got to get to, but we've got to earn it by a series of defeats. Like, how far can we push the Simpsons down? So back to this question. Give me some ways that Bart and Lisa can try, but will fail at stopping the data center. I am not looking for anything in Act 2. I'm not looking for other ideas right now. I'm looking for this. You're in a writer's room. I've hired you to write for me. Give me this. Let's see. Ignite the cooling system at the source. Homer is at odds on whether to sacrifice the Duff or the data center. It would be maybe, Derek, I would say maybe. It's just not really Homer's story. We need our main characters to take action, and right now this is kind of very much a Bart and Lisa story. So try and keep that in mind. Like, how specifically, what big choice can Bart do? Specifically, what can he give up or sacrifice for the greater good that brings his character arc full circle? Mookie said, when they approach as a mob with torches, the torches are LED, and the data center springs to life and drains the torches of power so it can amass more. Ooh, okay. I like the subversion. The mob approaches with LED torches, which the data center absorbs for power. Okay. Oh, lovely, Mookies. This is perfect. So this is very in character for Lisa. Write a poem or song to try and bring awareness. Well, let's do poem because we know where sax is missing. Lisa writes a poem to bring awareness people disinterested. That's the trope with Lisa, right? She always does something noble, and the town does not have it because she's batting 1,000 above them intellectually, right? Oh God, this one again. Excellent. What else? Let's get 5 good ones. Remember, we try and thinking things that end in ly, right? Like we said legally, and that fails because Mayor Quimby is corrupt. Emotionally, how we appeal to the billionaires' sensibilities that they don't have. We said physically is probably going to be the drinking of all of the Duff beer that's cooling the data center and allows everything to burn up. We said, is that it? Is that all we said? Or anything else? Bart struggles with accountability, transparency, and tries to give more and more to the community to stave off the worse effects of the data center. Okay, give me some examples of what that would be. He's trying to buy goodwill, right? Trying to think of an example here. Okay, so this is a real life one. Like Bill Gates is has the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation as part of it, and they're one of the most philanthropic foundations ever, trying to cure malaria and do all sorts of good in the world. However, like Bill Gates himself was in the Epstein files and had extramarital affairs and even tried to slip his wife medication without her knowledge, so she didn't find out that he had an STD, or she wouldn't get an STD from him, sort of a situation, right? So like buying goodwill with a bunch of philanthropy. Here's what I'll say is make it fit into the time crunch, right? So the legality of stuff, I don't know. I don't know, because it's not really, it's prolonging the effects of the data center. So if anything, what you're suggesting might belong in Act 2. If the data center's drying up, Bart can try and buy goodwill before he realizes it doesn't do anybody any good. And then we still end up in Act 3 where we realize that Bart needs a moral shift and to go back in the other direction. Oftentimes, let me see oftentimes the character's flaw ends up being the strength in the end, the thing that they were trying to do without. And so if Bart calls upon his inner badness, he was like, you know what? I can't believe I ever needed AI to tell me how to be bad. Right? That's a good Bart moment. He needs to unleash his inner anarchy. So I would say, can we also pitch some ideas on how like Bart can use his anarchy to stop the data center? I know I'm asking two things at once. We can... And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm giving you too much. But this is what it's like blue skying, just figuring it out. Let's see, Bart, create a degree of outrage that won't be so bad corporate goes apeshit, but is enough that corporate bends some. That's still give, if you can, Derek, still give me a specific scene that you're thinking of, because I don't know, it's still vague, and I want to support your idea, and I want to make it better and clearer, but even if it's a bad first idea, give me like a specific scene of how you seeing this like playing out in mind. Oh, that was an extension of the previous thought. Okay, got it. Mookie says, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about or hear that while using a Windows PC. Oh, you'll be fine, Mook. Unless, did your PC just restart for no apparent reason. You don't have a new one yet. Oh, okay. That's no problem. That's no problem. But I like how we were talking about there's emotional, there's physical, there's the appeal for Lisa to write a poem to bring. That's almost like the moral call to action. And you were also suggesting like a corporate call to action, which is, to me, like the first thing I think of is boycott. But it also has to a boycott would have to fail. So what would they boycott? That they just realize that they absolutely cannot live without. You said that's not likely anarchist enough. That's okay. I don't care if it's enough or not. I just want to hear some ideas, and I want to get inspired, you know? Sorry. There we go. Because it could lead to an idea that's enough. And maybe boycotting is not like a fun thing to put in an animated series. It's not as fun as, I don't know, Homer writing a whale out of SeaWorld or something. You know, like with animation, you can do anything. If you can draw it, it can happen, and you can draw just about anything. So also try and think of this as like a Tom and Jerry cartoon. If your characters couldn't die, if Homer has a stomach that can get shot at with a cannonball over and over again, if he can be an astronaut, if someone can hold a stick of dynamite and it blows up and they're still in one piece but their face is all black, right? Like we can have these kinds of cartoon animated moments too. It's okay. This is, and honestly, Derek, this is what a writer's room is. And it's not, and what I would say is in a writer's room, it's pitch, don't bitch, right? So instead of saying, I tried to yes and you, right? You said something about like kind of corporate being kind of mad, but maybe not. I just tried to say, okay, yes, and it's corporate, but let's take what's not working about it, which is vague, and try and add something specific to it so we can try and get a picture of what that would look like what the audience is going to look at. And to me, upsetting corporate is always a boycott, a strike, tariffs, lawsuits, unionizing. Those are actions that upset the corporate status quo. Mookie MC Bart shows Nelson Muntz what a server looks like to try and smash them up, like eco warriors. I like that there's like what you're inferring is like maybe a training montage. You know what? I'm starting to think training montage. Nelson versus the servers. What if I was actually wrong? And what if I was saving the physical demise of the data center when really this Homer thing and the drunks taking a tour of the data center is subterfuge? It's a secret spy plan. We send in the drunks. They take a tour. They see all the beer. They can't help themselves. Drink the data center dry, and the servers burn up. But it doesn't mean that they couldn't have tried to actually destroy the servers by like training all of Springfield's bullies on, let's say, Bart's AI, and also failing at that, right? How does a data center defend itself against bullies? Yeah, Mookie, you're right. I support Mookie supporting directly indirect. I think you're doing a great job too. And I would, and also just really don't be precious. Don't be precious. Ideas are a dime a dozen, and I launch 1,000 stinkers into the stream that don't stick. Okay, so I can see maybe a moment with like, oh, say Burns and Zuckerberg, you know, Elon, Zuck, Bezos having successfully defeated their attempts at the data center. And Lisa have a desperate appeal to their morality. And then, but, therefore, they don't bite. They don't take the bait. But therefore, do we see where this is going, maybe? Because what's the one thing billionaires love? To talk about how great they are. But Bart still owns Kent Brockman. And hires him to do a fluff story on how great and such geniuses the billionaires are. Comma, but therefore they allow a news crew into their data center to gloat. But therefore, but the news crew are drunks in disguise. Barney, Homer, Lenny, Carl, etc. So now this becomes a second thing. Data center runs out of water and now has to be cooled by Duff beer, will go in Act 2, so it'll pay off here. See, and we're already changing. The drunks drink all the booze to save Springfield. All the beer. Save Springfield. I can't imagine Homer being happier. I'll do it for Springfield. Save Springfield. But therefore, data center has nothing to cool it, and it burns up. This emotional appeal will be Bart at his lowest point, and it'll also be the genuine emotional heart. Also, maybe I would say Bart giving the saxophone to his sister in the end will also be the genuine emotional heart as well. And see, this gathering the team, this has changed to Kent Brockman, you know. Let me see. Directly indirect, as it defended itself against Lisa, mocking them. Oh, okay. So the AI does what it's meant to do. It mocks them. I love that. The AI is so good at bullying them. It mocks them and shames them from being able to fight it. I love that. I love how we use what we already know to be true. It feels much more purposeful, intentional, right? It feels like a callback. It feels elevated. It feels like it feels good. I like that. I like that choice a lot, Derek. Mookie. A bunch of stuff happens, but the data center finally shuts down when Homer. Someone trips over the extension cord. Wah wah. Let's see, but this might be a little too much, but I'm going to honor your request, Mookie. The data center has a backup generator that's about to kick on, but turns off when drunk Homer trips over the extension cord. I love it. Yeah, it is very Simpsons-y. And very Homer. Okay, so if no one ever plugs the extension cord back in, then the data center is offline. So why don't the billionaires rebel? How does the data center lose so much money, or are they on to the next thing? Do they all shoot off into space on their rocket? What happens? Because the data center itself, yes, is causing harm to Springfield, but it was built by man. It was built by billionaires who are the seed of the problem. So how does Springfield expunge itself of the billionaires? Hello, Polka Dotter 17. How are you? Are you joining us on the Simpson Spec on Twitch and YouTube Live? Or are you going to be on the vertical? It's good to see you, by the way. On the phone call, trying to catch up. Okay. He has to say dough when he does it, obviously. Obviously. I'll put in dough. we still owe Bart having enough money left over to get Lisa her saxophone back. We'll place that later. We just know it needs to happen. What if Bart uses his... Because remember, we're trying to get back to the status quo. So it'd almost be nice if Bart used his exorbitant wealth and sacrificed all of his wealth and power to vanquish the billionaires. And so then I would say, well, let's have a brainstorming session about that. How could Bart use the remainder of his wealth to vanquish the billionaires? What do we think? Could one what pranks kind of like cost a lot of money? Like, I'm being ridiculous here, but use his money to build another fake town for them to try and take over. Builds a rocket ship, and all the billionaires also turn their attention to building rocket ships and forget Springfield. Server in the facility, yes, they drive and yes, they drive electric cars to a launch pad and blast off to Mars. Oh, but are destroyed by a passing asteroid. I love that, actually, yeah. I'll do this. In addition to launch into space and collide with asteroid. Love it. And then Lisa can play some sort of like knockoff version of Baby You're a Firework as the billionaires light up the sky. Yeah, Katy Perry reference. Name files are not a storyline point, just to call it to real world references. Yeah, I just liked your idea. I definitely liked your idea of the passing asteroid, because what we're looking for is, remember, we need a comedic button to Act 3. Right before the Simpsons go off of the air, they either have a heartwarming moment and let it linger, or they kind of have a little quick one-line, what we call a blackout in comedy. The final joke that brings closure and bathos is the whole entire episode. Okay. Yeah. Can we somehow get Bart to use or repurpose the original app into this? Well, we do kind of have, I think his app, Mook. Oh no, I guess we don't, because it's used against him, isn't it? What if, I think you're right, Mook. What if the app was so good at bullying that it basically reverse psychologied are billionaires into launching themselves into space. I'm going to be the first to space. No, I'm going to be the first to space. You can't be the first to space. Well, I'm already built a rocket ship. Well, I mean, I could build a rocket ship. I've had a rocket ship for years. I just never launched it. Oh, really? You know, what are you too scared to go to space yourself? Oh, look, everybody, Elon Bezos and Zuckerberg are all too scared to go to space themselves. They keep launching monkeys into space. Like, no, I'll go. You know, that's kind of what I do like about it is, but it can't be AI. Remember, I like how Bart has to do this himself because Bart is the OG. Bart uses his strength that he surrendered to AI to do this. Bart prank calls the billionaires as the other billionaires and makes fun of them for not going to space. Reverse, or I don't know if it's reverse psychology, but psychologically goading them. Is it goading or goading? I've never heard it. I've never seen it spelled. I've only seen it said. Psychologically pushing them into space. A space race. All right, so the billionaires are still the problem. So it'd be like, okay, this data center's done for, but billionaires or oligarchs, I should say, are still a problem. And threaten to rebuild. But Bart prank calls them. It'd be funny if Monty Burns was a part of this and he had a very like old Victorian version of a spaceship. Goading, thank you. It actually reminds me of a Simpsons joke. Whenever Marge goes, she references the book, or the expression. Like dancing on the wind or dancing in the wind. Oh, it's dancing in the wind. I've only seen it written down. You know. I just had that moment for real. Love that, Mookie. Excellent. Excellent. The only thing I did was make sure that Bart was doing it himself instead of using the AI, which brings us back to that neutrality that we're going for, right? A little bit back to stasis. Maybe we don't have to explain what happens to Bart's money. Just know that he has enough of it left over, that he went on a wild spending spree, right? We saw him buy the super yachts and stuff like that. And then, where do we put it? Oh, I put it there, but I didn't make it into a, what they're for. Well, they launched themselves. The oligarchs launched themselves into space. And I think it'll be a cut to what the oligarchs are going to be in space. They're going to be planning what their planets will be like when a giant asteroid takes them all out. And that'll be the comedic button to Act 3. It'll be that little cutscene at the very end. I'll put it down here at the bottom. So we have that. Let me, sorry, this is getting a little, oh shit. Okay, okay, sorry. This is getting a little, unclean. I just want to move everything down. Oh, we have a potential ending. What is this? Lisa versus AI Sex Devil went down to Georgia style. AI self-destructs as it loses. I do like that. But I do like Bart's redemption arc better. That is a great bit. Oligarchs launch themselves in a... So we'll have like the Simpson, the town, Springfield celebrates, water returns, electricity comes back on, Disco Stew can listen to his records, birds return to nests, etc. We see the town begin to heal, right? Resolution, Springfield kind of coming back to normal. Oh, the Duff beer comes back, you're right. I like it'd be really interesting. Duff beer flows out of the tap again. It would be cool to match cut that with like a water coming out of a faucet, or water starting to trickle down a waterfall again, with Duff beer coming out of the taps. We see Bart nailing his old tree house back together. Lisa says she's sorry he had to lose everything to learn this lesson. But Bart says, didn't lose everything. Gives Lisa her saxophone back. Maybe he had it repaired so he could break it in front of her again, but thought against it, you know. So this beat is a duplicate of that beat, comma, but there, whoops, no. They hug under the night sky and see a shooting star. And that's whenever we'll do our button. It's the oligarchs. They're in space. And they get hit by the asteroid. Wow. Okay, cool. Y'all, I know this is a lot. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. All of whoops, all of this is the rough outline of our Simpsons episode. We have some really fun stuff in here. And whenever we start to organize it and put it into final draft, we're going to come across plot holes. We're going to come across some bad ideas. We're going to start to question why we ever had this idea. We're going to hate the writers that we were last week and assign ourselves more work, I'm sure. Yeah, exactly. Derek, great minds thinking alike. Oh, also, if you're still on YouTube Vertical Live, thanks for joining. Be sure to like and subscribe. Okay. Wow. Should we go back through Act 2 and start putting it into the order in which the audience should see it? Or I know there's not many people on here, but I'll do a little poll. Or do we want to go right into final draft? Humble highway. I don't know where that came from. A little Lion King, maybe? Let's do a poll. I just love them. Work on Act 2 order or final draft. Okay. 3 minutes. That's really up to you, Mookie and Derek, I know. But, you know, hey, Me Alpha, if you want to vote just for fun, that's cool too. You guys vote for a tiny more tweaking before final draft? Well, put it in the poll, Mookie. You know I love my polls. Oh, that sounds weird, saying it out loud. Oh my God, it's 50-50. You guys do this to me every time. I don't know why I do them. I'm so let down. Thank you, Mookie. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, I think I know what we're going to do. It's looking like we're going to work on Act 2. And for YouTube Vertical Live, hold tight. I have to restart this thing. So if you're a dedicated watcher, find me in just exactly 1 minute. Da-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-day. Okay. Perfect. All right. Why did I even make it last too long? The Act 2 order? Yeah. Okay, it's time. So, to get into Act 2, let's talk about this Act 1 button. Lisa warns Bart. So it's kind of an ultimatum, right? I think what this is you, 1 minute. 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 1 min oligarchs make an offer to Bart. Let us run partner with us, and you'll be the richest 10-year-old in the world. Lisa warns Bart that nothing comes for that. I don't know. In a quick way of saying it, which we can clarify in the script and punch up in the script, that that deals like that are too good to be true, and people will suffer, etc. Right? That's the button. And then Bart goes, okay, to the people suffering. All right. Whew. This is a cluttered mess. Enrages Lisa. Refuses to take Bart's blood money. Okay. So, all right. Let's see. Bart is in his luxury treehouse looking at his app sales. Segment about prank calls surging. Kent Brockman receives that. I'm going to say Marge tells Bart to buy Lisa a saxophone. Because Lisa isn't going to ask for it if she doesn't want the blood money. Bart's AI stock shoots straight up. I don't know about AI, but AI glasses, but consults his AI. We'll keep it as much of a character as possible. Oof, my gosh. Oh my gosh. How am I going to do this? Let me scoot everything down and away. No, my butt's in my Air Force. Why aren't you selected? 2. There we go. Okay, we'll just gently push this to the side and start pulling things over as needed. All right. So, here we have Bart's AI stock shoots straight up. He's rich in his luxury treehouse. We're seeing this. I created this just because I want to give this moment. There's like literally very little Marge in here. Fix the sax herself. Then maybe Bart annoys her with this AI generated Bleeding Gums Murphy. Therefore, she storms out. And if it's Bart doing the action, this is, even though Lisa's there, it's really should be his color. Font, color, text, indentation, show colors. Black, okay. Okay. So while this is happening, let's as to how he should spend his money. Then we kind of go through the montage. Oh, this is called Freeform. Oh yeah, Drowning Devil, please do. Please do. Yeah, everything's free on YouTube. Lack of ads there. Oh, hey, what's up, Alejandro? I'm sorry, I got into reading and I forgot to say hi. What's going on? Thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. And Twinkle Cheese, by the way, fantastic screen name. Man, oh wow, I wish I would have thought of that. Twinkle Cheese, fantastic. I am a writer here in Los Angeles, California. My name is Derek, and I am currently writing an episode of The Simpsons on Spec, of course. Fox is not hiring me to do this. I'm not affiliated with Disney or Disney Plus. This is just like a writing exercise. But over on Twitch and YouTube Live, you can come and check out our digital whiteboard, see us assemble the story, and then we're going to start writing it probably at the end of this stream, and we'll start writing scenes next stream. But right now we've been outlining our story, and we're putting our Act 2 in chronological order. What you got so far for the episode? Oh my god. A lot. I'll tell you the log line. Drowning Devil, and you'll probably catch on pretty fast once you see the direction that it's going in. But Bart invents an anarchistic AI and becomes a multimillionaire, only to find himself fighting against the very data center that powers his wealth, and he must destroy it before it destroys Springfield. And here we have exactly that story, where the data center starts ruining Springfield via electricity, air pollution, water consumption, noise pollution, the works. And he ends up having to team up with his sister, Lisa, the eco-warrior, to try and bring down the data center and the billionaires that have ruined Springfield by tempting him with an inordinate amount of wealth for a 10-year-old boy. Wobbly, what's up? Wobbly Jack, how you doing? Beastie Boys 2024, how you doing? Welcome. Glad to have you here. Where are you guys from? Tell me a little bit about yourselves, or not. It's up to you. But happy to have you here. Okay. So, in Act 2, Bart has accepted the deal from the oligarchy. Partner with us. We're going to build a data center in Springfield, and you'll have wealth beyond your wildest dreams, is how Act 1 ends. Just to clarify, I'm going to put this down here and just make it. Oh shit, what did I do? I just wanted to copy and paste. But therefore. Okay. Bart has accepted the money. He's in his luxury treehouse. He's watching a stock climb, probably a part of the same Bart AI stock climbs. He's got the news ticker. It's all part of the same scene, as far as I'm concerned. Marge tells him to buy his sister a new saxophone. Lisa's like, I don't want a saxophone with blood money. I'll raise the money myself. Bart AI generates Bleeding Gums Murphy music. Lisa storms out. Let's get Bart to buy off his parents, is what I'll say too. Let's see. Margin Homer express concern. Lisa is usually right about these things. Bart uses AI to convince Margin Homer, or AI or wealth, to get maybe both. To get parents off his back. So then we can have the fun, right? We can kind of answer the question like, well, where are the parents in this story? Seems like Bart might just be consulting AI the entire time. We know that Bart is going to tell Homer what he wants to hear. Homer's gonna love that. And what if the AI even says something like, beer is good for you, or something? I don't know. My next protagonist should be crowned Twinkle Cheese. Yeah. Oh, did I say hi to Beastie Boys? Yes, I did. Okay, cool. Making sure you guys can still see what I'm seeing. Try and keep it in the center. What else? What else? And remember, this is still the outline phase. I mean, we can make wrong decisions. If you see something that I'm missing, please let me know. I think he probably buys Marge off with like some cleaning equipment, like a brand new, like AI-powered vacuum that makes the house as spotless as possible. Seems like a really great way to win over Marge Simpson. Maybe even gives like Maggie a like a box of like Gucci pacifiers or something like that. Let's see, because it's getting tight in that little post-it. Buys Marge high-tech cleaning equipment. Buys Maggie designer binkies, I guess. Binkies? I don't know what it is. Wow. I call myself a writer and I don't know how to spell a baby's binky. Again, something I've just heard and never had to spell. It's happening a lot lately. And what else? Hey, Jax, how you doing? Welcome to the vertical live stream. What's going on? How's your day? Okay, so he buys off his family, and then let's see, buys the super yacht. But how about doesn't know what to buy next? Or shares a dock. With Monty Burns. The only other wealthy person in Springfield. who tells Bart, you're not a billionaire if you don't own a media company. So, therefore, Bart buys Channel 6 News? Oh my gosh. Is it time to do the arrow down to the other? Let's try and get it to the midpoint, and then we'll put part A up top, and then we'll put part B like right here. Because everything else has kind of gotten 2 lines, so we'll try and keep it symmetrical. Well, writers, I mean, I'm powering through here, but do you have any input? I just wonder. I don't want to dominate the writer's room. I want you to participate. Like, are you seeing any like issues with this potential order, perhaps, or any plot holes, like how I've had to kind of finesse things to make this work? Like, oh, he shares a yacht with, he shares a dock with Monty Burns, who tells him that he's not a millionaire unless he owns a media company. Therefore, he buys Channel 6 News. Shows Bart's its own ad spot. Also, remember, Channel 6 News is going to Bart owns Krusty Clown. Oh yeah, show, and makes 2 men dressed as Itchy and Scratchy fight on the lawn of Springfield. Is it Presbyterian? I don't even know how to spell Presbyterian. Does anybody want to do a little research and see? I'll do it. What the Church of Springfield is? What is the name of the church in Spring? On The Simpsons. The First Church of Springfield. We have a skate park that we still need to do. I feel like skate park would be something the 10-year-old boy would definitely do first, right? He's got the luxury tree house. He builds himself an amazing skate park. Whoops. I think a 10-year-old would think of the skate park before the super yacht. Maybe they can even get hot skating at the park. You're like, you want to go on my boat? You know, cartoonishly, just have it ready, queued up. Drowning Devil says, what you thinking about, Drowning Devil? I think this is an overall note for Act 2, Part B. And maybe it's answered just once. If he consults his AI about what he should buy, the audience can infer he's continuously asking his AI what he should do. I don't know. It might be redundant, or the repetition might be what we need to solidify his dependency. I'm just not sure yet. Drowning Devil says, honestly, I'm very tired, so brain like fog. No problem, Drowning Devil. I'm just excited to have you here. Let's see. Bart, Krusty the Clown show. Let's just pick what we have. We also need to start peppering in between. I'm gonna do things like this, where every time Bart does something, we have Lisa doing something. And sometimes it could be Lisa leading into the skate park. Maybe she's just outside of the skate park trying to hand somebody a paper that she wrote, and they were like, never mind, I got Bart's AI to do it, and they grab a skateboard and they drop in, you know? What's going on? Lisa constantly discovering how Bart is spending his money. So we just make sure that her storyline is staying relevant. TV's on, maybe the TV is on in the background whenever she sees. And Bart has purchased Channel 6 News and now owns Kent Brockman. Yes, program with this is kind of relevant, but it's like half relevant now. Fight on the lawn, that's now this one. We need the plan to be revealed. The oligarchs arrive to the event and reveal the master plan to Bart in their luxury box seats. So we now know. So therefore, so the rich people go to the rich people event. We're expecting that. Bart arrives in fancy attire is, I don't know that he's proving himself to Burns, but he's like trying to fit into the boys' club. That'll be almost subtextual to this scene. That will throw Bart's morality into question. And then I'm just going to put this away for now. It's distracting me. I'm not sure. Put it down here for now. And then we reach the midpoint, which will be the data center gets turned on. Move this down, or Act 3. Bart consults his AI. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to just put it over here. And then we're going to have our second part of Act 2. Act 2, Part B, which has been hiding right here. Because we always break our Act 2 into 2 parts. Gonna take this thing. It's going to be ugly. But whatever. Oh my god. I'll rotate this thing. Could have sworn I could rotate it. Whatever. You get it. You understand. You know. You've been here since the beginning. I know. It looks like, it's starting to look like Detective's clue board, right? Then we have data center gets, this is a button therefore, this is a but the data center gets turned on anyway. Doesn't have a choice. He signed the deal with the devil. Let's do a couple more of these. But therefore, Springfield starts to suffer. Noise scares off the animals in the park. This is a little bit of a montage. The water fountains, skateboard parks. There should be more of a water crisis before that water turns brown. So maybe the Springfield landlocked bit. Okay. And then happens, what else? Millhouse can't go out and play. Oh, continuing with the noise pollution. Disco Stu can't hear his records. It's kind of, these two things are like attached to each other like a sequence. Millhouse can't go out and play. The water at the skateboard fountain thing is brown. So when the data center turns on, basically all this stuff starts happening. That's the button, therefore, is in like what we call a sequence or a montage. Lisa. Oh, Krusty. Krusty goes off the air. Lack of power. And this is one of those things where it feels like also like a commercial break. We could have Bart. How bad could it be? Okay. Mr. Ozzy Waldy. Hello. My morning. I gotta tell you, it's my evening over here in Los Angeles. Okay. I think it will keep us centered when it's time for final draft. Yeah, I agree. I think I know who the murderer is. Who is the murderer? Also, Mr. Ozzy Waldy, what we're doing is we're writing a spec script of The Simpsons. And for everybody here on YouTube Vertical Live, yeah, I am so boring. You don't even want to be here. Trust me. But also like and subscribe. Yeah, so let's do it. Let's keep trucking along with this Simpsons Spec script. But therefore, I almost think, what if we put that Lisa moment? Because there's a thing where it affects Springfield, and then there's a thing where it affects him. So if Lisa has this, therefore Lisa runs to Bart. Oh my God, you're ruining Springfield. I don't feel anything. I'm not hurting. I'm an oligarch. It's fine. Then we have Lisa tell Bart. The AI just tells you what it wants to hear. When's the last time you connected with people outside? So Lisa tells Bart the AI is placating him, and that eventually things will start to affect him too. But Bart doesn't believe her. And goes to his yacht to relax. But his super yacht is landlocked. Therefore, he goes to skate park, but it's covered in graffiti, and the water fountain at the skate parks turned brown. The water in the water fountains at the skate park have turned brown. So he doesn't want to be there, so he calls Millhouse, who can't go outside because of the asthma from the data center. He's like, fine, at least I have TV. But even his news channel is glitching and going off of the air because of energy dependency. Right? So all of his fun stuff. So Bart is finally starting to realize that he needs help. He doesn't want to go to Lisa because of pride. Goes to Homer, who can't get off the couch. Or honestly, it makes me feel like this is not the move. Feels like Homer might need to be mad at Bart because the data center now runs on water. So that happens whenever the lake dries up. Noise scares all the animals. Can we swap these? What's the last thing? Water stops running. How about this? I don't know, just something like Bart goes to get a glass of water or fill up. How about this? Even better than glass of water. Goes to fill up a water gun, but there is no water in the faucets or garden hose. What's cooling the data centers? And then it'll be like a cut to Duff Beer. This is an extension of that. Homer is really mad at Bart. Marge is distracted with high-tech gadgets, and therefore Bart must turn to Lisa. And we put the graffiti on the skateboard property already. Will you be my brain? Therefore, Lisa agrees. So makes a big speech and agrees. Handshake. Putting us into the Act 3 that we've devised. I think we can get rid of these. Okay, let's take a look. My goodness, did we just do it? I know it's messy. Let's see, just move this down. Move this over. Wow, okay. This is kind of it. This is our Simpsons episode in a nutshell. Wow. Okay, cool, y'all. Here we go. What is it, 8:18? How long have I been doing this? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Ozzy. I forgot to check on the chat. Sorry. Let me catch up on the chat. Let me talk to you here. Fanfic, first maybe. I don't know if it's fanfic, as we always write on here, Mr. Ozzy Waldy, and I wanted to host a digital writers room where everybody could participate. And what we eventually landed on was writing a Simpsons Spec script together, because everybody is mostly familiar with The Simpsons. It's been on the air for over 50 years. Everybody kind of understands the character of Homer and Lisa and Bart and Marge and Maggie and Mr. Burns and every Springfieldian character. So at any point, you could kind of jump into this chat and understand what we're talking about, and kind of understand where the story is set and what we're doing with it, and what to expect. It's just the easiest way for everybody to participate. Uh, the act of writing your work twice. Oh, Mr. Oswaldi, we write the work a bajillion times. You said never did that until now. Rewriting every case in my courtroom drama novel. Excellent. So excited to have a what would we call that? A legal thriller, a legal drama writer in the room. That's fantastic. You thought Homer was done being fat. He's never done being fat. Springfield always returns to its stasis. Oh, it's that kind of story. Oh, yeah, thanks. Chat Jippity, make this clean for me. Oh, cool, cool. Well, I appreciate you being there. Carrie Ann, oh my goodness, it's so late for you. I'm surprised that you hopped on today. That's fantastic. It's good to see you. How are you? Oh, and you're on... and you're on the YouTube Vertical Live too. Excellent, excellent. Happy to have you here. Yeah, we are just finishing up this outline for our Simpsons spec script. And now we're going to start taking all of these scenes, and what we'll do is it's going to look really cluttered, but we're eventually going to transfer all of this to Final Draft. And then we're going to tackle one scene at a time. But we've crafted a narrative, and I'll pitch you the log line, Carrie Ann, because I don't know. Do you ever go back and watch these or anything? But the log line is that Bart invents an anarchistic AI and becomes a multimillionaire, only to find himself fighting against the very data center that powers his wealth, and must destroy it before it destroys Springfield. Oh, yeah. And speaking of, by the way, Mr. Oswaldi, I don't know if you saw this little Post-it note. I didn't really put too much focus on it. But sometimes we have, in parody or in satire, we can host a story in a vehicle. You see it a lot in Dan Harmon's Community, where he basically will take a famous movie or a famous television show and use it to tell an episode of Community, whether it's like documentary style or a war story or a 4-camera sitcom or a musical, right? Like they're almost these like bottle episodes that host these different tastes of ways to tell a story that still exist in the universe in which they tell the story. And Mr. Oswaldi here is a newcomer. Hey, by the way, be sure to like and subscribe so you can come back next time and be notified that he's a legal thriller writer. And we were saying, wouldn't it be interesting to frame this story within a specific genre to give it some depth? Like if we told it like a legal thriller, like Aaron Brockovich or Spotlight, kind of expose style. Or we played around with like, ooh, what if it was like a blogger influencer style, someone who is like an activist recording the whole thing for a YouTube documentary, right? And while we never made an official decision, it is something for the writers to consider. The writer's room. Would any of those vehicles or a vehicle or a genre that we haven't discussed be appropriate? Could this could be done through the lens of a detective noir story. This could be done through the lens of a horror movie. We could model this after Obsession, where Bart gets what he wants, and this AI is basically his one-wish Willow, if you will. And it's a version of the Tale of the Monkey Paw, where you get what you want, but it goes bad. Oh, heat wave well, heat wave all across Europe. It's been really crazy over there, huh? Do you have access to air conditioning, or you're just sleeping with an open window and a and your fingers crossed? And also, Carrie Ann, I don't know if you're into sport. I'm not, but I know World Cup must be crazy over there. I know Ireland didn't like advance or whatever, but so European, you must find it inescapable. Mr. Ozzy Wally says it's a courtroom drama, but I do not know my genres like that. I mean, I know my genre, but I don't know my subgenre other than a sprinkle of a love story. I know my vehicles, good sir, Ferrari, Mustang, Prius. I'm a Prius driver myself, so I got you. For real though, I have the vehicles, but I do not know it is driving or not. Need a second set of eyes for that. It's okay. Was there a blogger style episode already? You know, Mr. Ozzy Waldy, we did. We ended up writing like a short sketch, and we parodied Who the F Did I Marry, which was a TikTok video about this woman recounting this crazy relationship that she had gotten herself into with this very manipulative, almost compulsive, abusive liar. And we did one about my husband is a dog or something like that. Like her husband died and came back as a dog, and they're trying to rekindle their relationship and it's not working anymore. No fan either? Oh, Carrie Ann. Why not? The fan thing shocks me. I expected the no air conditioning, but I'm really surprised at the fan. They've been around for so long. I even remember Kings and Queens and all of these old movies and TV shows fanning themselves or having servants fan them at the very least. Basically, we don't have electric fans because we're a very cold country until climate change. I suspect next year the demand for fans would be very high. Yeah, 100%. Oof. Well, fans sell out quick. Wow. I'm sorry, Carrie Ann. Hope you find ways to stay cool. I don't know what your situation is or how you can do it, or if you can just take everything out of your fridge and curl up in there. It's also that living for a month in Galway to attend the Galway Film Fest, and I don't want to lug a purchase fan all the way. Yeah, that'll do it. Drinking a lot of water. Gotta stay hydrated. My goodness. 100%. Yeah, stay hydrated, y'all. Let me see here. How long have I been doing this? 15 minutes. 2 hours 15. So let me pull up a final draft maybe, and we can kind of. This is pretty. The rest of this is going to be kind of tedious work, but it must be done. So here's what I'll do: is I will just kind of do it while we chat. Oh, dear God. 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. Everybody check in on each other. How's everybody doing? And also, Mr. Ozzy Wally, tell us more about your legal drama. Your legal drama. I think that's it. There we go. All right. Sorry, y'all. I have to install an update because Final Draft is always updating. Install and relaunch. And money's been very, very tight. Yeah, we kind of talked about that. Been legally allowed to work since January. Ah, that's so tough. Carrie Ann, I'm so sorry. There's got to be some, like, under-the-table cash jobs, right? Does anybody have any suggestions for Carrie Ann? How to grease the wheels of finance in Ireland, perhaps? You never know. You never know. I feel like Mookie would probably have some sort of like, oh yeah, I interned in Dublin for a summer, and there's a guy named Paul who owns a brew pub, and if you want to sweep up old haggis or something, I don't know. Sorry, Ireland, for making that terrible joke. Okay, let's see. We're gonna just, I'll show you what I'm doing on screen. Give me a moment. Final draft. Here we go. Okay, well, where are you? You're behind freeform? Oh, did I click cancel? Like an idiot. I did! I did click cancel like an idiot. All right. So, here we go. Back to Final Draft. Open up my whiteboard. Can barely see the chat. Oh, Ghostwriter on Fiverr. Great suggestion. Drowning Devil. Do homes have basements there? Oh yeah, Brad. Okay, so this is a little bit of Mr. Oswaldi's legal drama. Brad leaves the U.S. and holds himself hostage, all to change the system that his family is built upon, the very system that abandoned him at his time of need. It starts in a cafe where a gun lands on his table during a long overdue assignment. He gets apprehended just for picking it up, though he never fired a shot. Interesting, interesting. I'm interested in like what this system and the system that abandoned him, like who is it versing, right? Like man versus system, but like more specifically, who? I'm interested. I want to know. What's the system? What's the system? I also love an immediate hook in Mr. Oswaldi's work. A man who kidnaps himself. She kidnapped herself, man. Right? Big Lebowski? Anybody? For 5 years, Brad maintains the standoff, stubbornly refusing to believe his family has changed despite a decade passing. Even with the friends he made along the way, they aren't the ones keeping him there. The key to the chain is with himself. Interesting. Very interesting. I love that. Kidnapped himself. Took himself hostage. Okay. Let us. Oof. This is going to be arduous. I'm going to hunt and peck away, but I also want to talk with you guys. Like, what are you up to and stuff, you know? Just curious. Like, what's going on with you? Okay, interior. Or exterior. Springfield. Day. Summer. Establish a blisteringly hot summer. So we don't have to write the scene, but we know what we owe. Right? And then we have interior, Simpson's home, day, Homer destroys Lisa's saxophone. Interior, King Toots Music Emporium. Day. Homer, Lisa, and Marge, and I guess Maggie. Can't afford to get Lisa's saxophone repaired. And meanwhile, exterior, let's see, Springfield Elementary. El Barto, Millhouse, graffiti, and skateboard away. And then interior, Simpson's home, Millhouse, Barton Millhouse, discover they are home alone, and prank call Moe's. Intercut, Moe's Tavern. Bart runs out of ways to trick Moe. Interior, Simpson's home, Millhouse. Advises Bart to use AI. Let's see. Man, I'm missing the chat. Is anything else happening there, or is it just me being crazy? Yeah, it's the idea that parents hold a certain belief and worldview that they put forth before their children's well-being, but that is not the theme of the novel. Let me ask you, how many, what's your word count? What are you trying to get to? How many drafts have you completed, or are you still on your first draft? Remind me where you were at. I think you mentioned it, but it might have slipped out of my memory doing all this Simpson stuff. For new ideas. Bart tries out the AI and it works on Mo. Bart gets idea to create his own AI for pranks. Homer, Marge, Lisa, Maggie come home. Milhouse sees sad Lisa and moves to comfort her. Oh wait. Milhouse begins to warn him about how he must establish parameters for AI or else ... Marge, Lisa, Maggie come home. Moves to comfort her. Bart. What is it? Bart. It's not reveals, he creates. Bart goes rogue and types in his own parameters into Hope in AI. I love that Mookie. It's still one of my favorites. And then Lisa warns Bart. This is kind of redundant. Milhouse was already warning Bart. I think Lisa's got her own stuff going on. We could almost lose this moment. Marge calls everyone in the kitchen for dinner, and Bart leaves the laptop running all night. You can maybe even see the moon and sun come up in the window. Doesn't seem like we need this. Our Act 1 just got a little shorter, but that's fine. It scales up on its own. And let's see. Those parameters could be like, be awesome at all costs. Be bad to the bone, don't have a cow man, something like that. I don't know. However, the AI interprets that. It scales up overnight by itself. Then we have interior, Simpson's home, morning. Bart wakes up to discover oligarchs knocking on his door. They want to invest in his AI and build a data center in Springfield. Lisa warns Bart against it. Bart accepts the deal with the devil, so to speak. Okay. And that'll be... We'll do a little page break later. And that'll be our Act 2. Bulbous. So, our couch gag / chalkboard bit, I'll call it. But therefore, all the time. Okay. Let's see. Let me check the chat. I know this has got to be getting boring for you guys, right? Ink and Play! What's going on? 4th going on 5 months strong. Congratulations, Mr. Ozzy Waldy. It's so tough to stick with something like that. Ravens and Roses, how are you doing? Thanks for the lurk. Ink and Play, it's been so long, right? What's going on? Where have you been? Are you okay? How are things? Top of the morning to you. Good madam. Top of the morning to you. Is that because we've been talking about Ireland? I have another story, but I don't know if I should screenwrite it. I want it to be my magnum opus. Well, already, whenever you talk like that, it makes me say novel. Because screenplays are just a series of compromises. You can write your magnum opus in screenplay form, and then it goes to a producer, and then it goes to, maybe if you're lucky, a studio, but it gets filtered by the film's budget. It gets filtered by star power. It gets filtered by the genre in which they want to sell it. It gets filtered by the rating in which it is given. And then, of course, your story is retold by the editors. You know, if you say something like, "I want it to be my magnum opus," to me that is sounding like you want ultimate control over a vast, sweeping story, perhaps with multiple locations and lots of character, and backstory, and your ability to show off your ability to write prose and keep it intact. To me, I don't know. It just sounds like a novel. Except I write. Here's the thing, though. I want no filters and no edits. Then you'll get that in a novel. You will not avoid it in a screenplay unless you are self-financing. And if you're self-financing, if you could self-finance your magnum opus feature film in 2026, what are you doing hanging out on Twitch? Are you on your super yacht? Yourself? Let's see here. Let me do a few more. The Act 2 takes place. We leave that open-ended, actually. We have interior, Bart's luxury treehouse day. What do we see, Bart? Bart has an upscale treehouse, looks at his AI's stock price going up, watches a news segment about a spike in prank calls all over the city. Kent Brockman's news segment is interrupted by a prank call. Bart's evil laugh. Imagine Homer arrive in his glass elevator. Marge tells let's say Marge, Homer, and Lisa. Maggie as well. Ask Bart to buy Lisa's saxophone. Lisa refuses the blood money associated with AI. Or generates AI bleeding gums Murphy album to cause Lisa to storm off, declaring she'll raise money on her own, using her own brain and ideas. Oh, wait, I gotta save this. Simpson's Spec script. Call it version 1. And I'll put it on my desktop. There we go. Let's see. I don't know if they'll write from a beginner like moi. I haven't seen you live or not. I do both, except... Oh, you haven't been getting notified? Do you follow me? You don't have to subscribe to follow, but also in Complay, I'm gonna give you my YouTube. And you could also just, you might have to go into your settings and adjust your notifications for certain people. But if you do want to see me, 1, thank you. 2, I'm pinning my YouTube to the link to the top of the Twitch page, to the Twitch chat. And if you follow on YouTube, I get notifications on YouTube for the channels that I follow nearly every day. So I wonder if that'll do it for you, if you haven't liked and subscribed over there yet. Guess I'm learning 3D animation then. Upload the pilot on YouTube. Oh, wow, that is ambitious. What are you, like, learning on Blender? Or Unreal Engine? That's a big endeavor. It's more of an episodic 5-act structure than a movie. Episodic. So each episode is a 5-act structure. How many episodes in your episodic? Little guy's fighting the big guy. Okay. Yeah, I got you. All right. Well, I'm excited for you, Mr. Ozzy I like that a premise can survive whenever you can boil it down to something that we can all relate to, right? So you're telling a David and Goliath story, which is fantastic. I'll just keep plugging away on this. Where am I? The bleeding scum Murphy thing, blood money. Marge and Homer express concern. He says usually right. about these things. Bart uses AI to get his parents off his back. By doing one, using wealth to buy Marge high-tech cleaning supplies, giving Maggie designer pacifiers, 3, giving permission to Homer to be lazy, conserve energy, etc. Bart asks AI what he should do with all his money. AI thinking. Cut to exterior. Oh, Bartow skate park. Day. Bart is skating the wildest course imaginable. Millhouse is there. What else? Will be intercut. Lisa offering to tutor students to raise money, but they are using Bart's AI to cheat, do their homework. Then we have exterior, Springfield Marina, maybe. Day. Bart parks his super yacht. Whoops. Super yacht makes Captain Horatio the captain. That's redundant, but whatever. I've already typed it. Always get this feeling that I've been away from the chat for too long. Let's see. Except David is a small group of 1,000 and Goliath is a whole country. Stories plague my mind. I already have like 13 novels planned ahead. The downside of being a writer. Beginning, middle, or end. I agree. Yeah, there's too many stories to tell in a lifetime, isn't there? It's kind of tough. Like, how do you decide, you know? Okay, well, y'all, what time is it? I I could feel my battery winding down. 2:45. Okay. Oh my God, it's late over here. All right. Battery is winding down not only inside of me, but also on the cell phone here. So this is a good reminder, writers, if you're working on your own thing, hit save. Save your work, save your work, save your work. Do it now. And back it up if you can. I'm really proud of us. We did a lot of work today. We got through a big rough outline of the Simpson spec script. And now we're getting into the nitty gritty. It's saved and clouded. Excellent. Ah, then you did it right, Mr. Ozzy Waldy. Okay. It's time. It's time to end this. Let's see. Who is online right now? Let me go to Twitch. I know it's getting late everywhere. Or really early. Who is writing? Writing and reading. And then we'll raid them if you guys are still up for it. Ooh, hey. I wonder if you'd be interested in this, Mr. Ozzy Waldy. Cryptid Roots, who I am not following yet, is a cryptid editor, reads your stories and gives critiques. Considering that you have a lot of your work done, I wonder if that's something you'd be interested in. Let's see. Project Boneyard. Not a lot. A lot of reading, and a lot. I know Syph is always live, but Syph is at his best when he is there. So I'll pause on that. Okay. I think Cryptid Roots is the way to go. We're gonna raid Cryptid Roots and make a new friend today. Oh, of course you follow her. Oh, perfect. Raid Cryptid Roots. Can I do that? All right. The raid has been created. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Guys, we did a lot of stuff today. You should feel very, very proud. Thank you so much for contributing your ideas. Thank you to Mookie MC. Thank you to Ink and Play. Thank you to Mr. Ozzy Waldy. Thank you to Me Alpha for giving me my little dancing dinosaur. Of course, thank you for all of the suggestions directly in direct. And thank you for Ink and Play for coming back. And, oh, Ravens and Roses, thanks for coming in. We didn't really get to hang out too long, but thanks so much. And if you haven't been getting notifications, make sure that you adjust them and make sure that you are liked and subscribed. And also do it on YouTube, too. Sometimes notifications are a little bit more aggressive on YouTube, so that could be a factor as well. I'm not moving yet, but I am moving soon, so I will have another one of these streams this coming Tuesday. We'll get back at it again, and we'll be in final draft a little bit more this time, and we're going to start taking scenes and then working on them individually, making sure that they have a good beginning, middle, and end. And we get to play around with our imaginations and really pepper in the details of Springfield and the world and step into the shoes of the characters, do their voices, figure out how they would react, and figure out how to get from one scene to another. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you so much for sticking around. I'm always surprised that you guys hang out with me. All right, let's raid.